Hello,
Hello.
hello. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. How are you doing?
It's been raining here in Istanbul, but um, nothing is stopping us from getting ready for the festival happening in 15 days now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so uh, we're all very excited and preparations are ongoing. Tonight, we will have one of our guides as our special guest. We're doing an explorer spotlight on Aly Michaels Clark. We will just give her a few minutes to come on because there's a little mix up with the time. This is what happens when we work with global time zones and um, even me, I sometimes get mixed up with Central Europe time and Istanbul time, which is 1 hour ahead. So, um, yeah, these are the little things that we just have to smile about. It's all part of the process.
That's
But
so normal.
we hope Ali can join us in
She
a few
is
minutes.
joining.
Yes, okay, she's coming on.
Hi,
Here she is.
everybody.
Hi,
Hi, Ali.
Ali. Hello, hello.
Hi,
Welcome.
everybody. Don't you just love the lives and this whole time difference? Almost every time something goes wrong, and it's either the computer wants to reboot itself, or the timing isn't right, or something just stops working, or the page freezes. There's always something. Isn't that great?
Right, right. Yeah. But as we
That's
said, it's all part
normal.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very
Yeah.
normal, I think. Obviously, nowadays, because in fact, this week, the things will be better because we are just out of Metro retrograde,
Mercury.
Mercury retrograde.
That's two
That's
weeks.
right. Yep.
2 weeks now. So how are you doing today, Ali?
I am doing great. I'm in Cancun, Mexico, in the Caribbean, so I definitely cannot complain. How are you guys?
Is it
Yeah.
dry weather right now in Cancun? Is it beach weather?
Oh God, yeah. It's like 31 degrees in the morning, and now it's actually we're going into our winter, so now it's actually really nice and cool at night. It's about 26, sometimes 24 degrees, so it's pretty pleasant, definitely.
That's really nice. Right now, I think the nights are hitting 16 degrees. So just be
Wow.
prepared for the a little cooler than what you're used to. Yeah, but I do miss beach weather. I grew up in the Philippines, so that's really tropics all the way. Yeah, yeah.
Philippines is
Well,
beautiful. I've been there. I've been there a number of times. Phuket's my favorite, I have to say.
Southeast Asia is a different animal. Yeah, um,
Definitely. Yeah.
but we would love to see you here in Istanbul in less than 2 weeks. You're coming in earlier than the rest of the group, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I'm coming in earlier. I can't wait. I've been to Istanbul once, but not to the
Ah,
city itself. Just to the airport, so that's not really counted. I am super excited. If anybody's watching from Istanbul, please reach out to me and give me your top 5 must do's whilst I
mm,
am there. I definitely will be coming early, like you said, Joanna, absolutely, and would love to do some sightseeing and get to know the local people. Definitely have some Turkish coffee and
right.
just experience the whole of what Istanbul has to offer. So I'm super excited.
So, I mean, we don't want to spoil any of the surprises for you, so we're keeping it as mum as possible, but yeah, without making you miss out on certain things. Yes, honey.
yeah, exactly. Like, in fact, Istanbul is the city which I grow up. In fact,
Hmm.
my life was until 30s between Istanbul and Izmir, and it was like Istanbul, Izmir, Istanbul, Izmir. So we moved back and front. But if you like different kind of foods, Istanbul is a heaven for you. And
Oh, yes, I
also,
love to eat, Corey. I love to eat.
and also the other thing, like, can you imagine? Uh, I think when we were here in 2017, we had a boat tour on Bosphorus.
Uh-huh.
So in 2 hours, we changed the continents, I think like 9 times.
Oh, wow.
You're in Europe, then Asia, then Europe, Asia, Europe, Asia, Europe, Asia. Like it was a fantastic experience. And while we were going, the dolphins were racing with our boat on the Bosphorus. So it was really super nice.
Yeah. I mean, I've been living in Turkey for a year now, a little over a year, and I can say that the place is endlessly fascinating. And I hope it's the
Imagine.
same welcome that you get when you come here in a few days. So, but tonight is about Ali. Okay, so
Okay.
Oh,
let's honey, would you like to introduce Ali? Yes.
Okay. Ali is a serial entrepreneur. She is trying to do everything with her with passion. I mean, you can see her as a luxury tour operator, or another way, she can sell masks as a broker of great deals. So she knows everything and she knows how to make business. So that's why we have a lot to learn from Ali.
Ali has been doing a lot of personal development work.
Yes.
So 19 years she's been dedicated to serving, not just as an attendee, but actually as part of crew to a lot of the big events in the transformation field. So that's something definitely we want to hear more about. Um, but I guess the first question we'd love to ask Ali is what makes you an explorer? Because we are gathering explorers here in the festival.
well, Joanna and Corey, I'm actually an immigrant to Australia. I'm an Australian that was not born in Australia, and that
Mhm.
is married to an American and now lives in Cancun. But I was actually an immigrant. I was actually born in Bucharest, Romania, to a very communist country, and I came to Australia when I was 7 years old. Sadly, my parents got divorced shortly after, and I basically watched my
Mm.
mother raise me by herself, struggling. She couldn't speak English, so as a result, she was a machinist in the factory, making $3.84 an hour. And
Mm.
I barely saw her during the week. And on the weekends, I'd be woken up at 5 o'clock in the morning, which I absolutely did not agree with my body at the time. Uh, and I was dragged onto these what they were well, they were called like trash and treasure markets. It's basically back then it was basically an open car lot where
Mm.
you put everything that you wanted to sell in the back
In
of
the
your
back of
car,
your car,
and
right?
yeah, and then you set up with it on top of a table, and then you did that from about 7 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon, on Saturdays and Sundays. Now my mother had to do that because obviously what she was making at $3.84 an hour was not enough.
Mm, enough.
And I remember seeing her, in the heat, in this, in sweating. Back then, when you know, we're talking a long time ago. Back then, the whole cancer thing wasn't a big deal. So, we were all uncovered. There were no umbrellas. There were no shading. It was just basically,
Mm.
if you remember to bring your hat. And I remember looking up to her and seeing this bead of sweat roll down her cheek. And I could feel her tenseness as an 8-year-old child. And I knew that she was really struggling because she hadn't made the quota to pay the rent. And at that moment, I kind of made a decision to basically not end up like my mother, but also to, try to be a force for good and try to actually help other people so that they wouldn't be in that same position, because there was nothing that I wanted more than to, be able to play with my friends and so forth. So what I ended up doing was I ended up borrowing $1. And back then, the big in thing for an 8-year-old kid was to have these fragrant erasers in different kind of shapes, which I would buy from the markets for like 5 cents, and I would sell on Monday at school for like 10 or 15 or some even 20 cents. So within a short period of time, I was able to give her the dollar back. and start making some income. And it kind of
This
grew
is
from
8-year-old Ali. 8 years
yeah,
old. Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
You were
yeah,
opening your mouth, honey. I mean,
No, like I'm speechless.
he's
yeah,
speechless.
yeah.
I mean, like that's a wonderful story, and like also there are so much things which I would like to ask you. First, I assume Romania was very different when you were 7 years old and when you were moving to Australia, and
Absolutely.
so so much adjustments needed, like language, like
Yep.
traditions, like every course of the society, and most probably it was the last years of Ceausescu
Yep.
term, I think,
It was. It
and
was.
from a super strict regime, you went to a quite um, democratic and open country.
Well, I
Plus,
think,
you
yeah, I think looking back now, I think it was more of a cultural shock for my mother because she was very, very strict. I wasn't allowed to literally socialize. I wasn't allowed to go across the street and play with my girlfriend at her house because she was, really, really scared that something would happen to me crossing the road or whatever. But I think that was just the mindset of, that regime, like you said. And again, as I evolved and as I grew, I really started to resent that way of thinking because
Mm,
only for the fact that she wasn't open to to find out something better or something different, and for the fact that she chose fear. And at that very
right.
young age I realized that there's two types of people in the world: people that actually live in fear, and by that I mean, are always fearful that something bad's going to happen, or they don't take the opportunities in life, they don't take the chances in life. It's like, I'm sure we have had, gosh, thousands of people that have watched these Leadia talks so far, and some of them are still living in fear as to, well, I don't know, what can I get out of it? Can it be for me? Will it be for me? Will my life change? Well, the only way
Mm,
your life is going to change is if you actually step out of that comfort zone, step out of that fear, and actually try it. You'd be surprised, right? And obviously, the other part is of the individual is that part of the person that actually welcomes change and welcomes the idea of something new. I mean, you don't have to agree with an idea being brought forward, but you do have to at least have the awareness to be able to listen and to be able to then decide, this could be for me or this may not be for me.
so, I mean, just listening to you talk, something came up in my head. Like, how do you, as someone in the coaching and personal development space, guide people to move away from fear and towards what is the opposite of fear? And what would you call the opposite of fear?
Well, the opposite of fear is living on your terms, living your dreams. And the first step to that is to actually get crystal clear on what it is that you actually want. Most of us, most of us are taught and conditioned to go towards what we don't want. So what happens when you always focus on
Mm,
what you don't want? What happens when you have that in your mind and you wake up in the morning and you go, I like you live in fear. So you go, I don't want this and I don't want that and I don't want that. What happens is, frequency vibrationally, the law of attraction will only give you what you actually desire, what you actually want, whether it's
right.
a thought, whether it's a verbal affirmation or not, because it could be, hey, I don't want to get sick, right? I don't want to get sick. All my friends are sick. I don't want to get sick. And therefore you get sick.
Right.
you know
Right.
has that ever
Yeah.
happened to anybody that right?
Right. Right.
So the way to do that is to actually focus on what it is that you do want. Okay, focus on what that will give you, because it's never about, like, for example, if you say, I want more money, right? And again, I want more money is not a goal, by the way. You would need to get into specifics as to how much you want. by when you want
Mm.
it, have a time frame and everything, because you can find 5 cents on the floor and you have more money than you had yesterday, but you're by no means a wealthy person, or you cannot buy the car that you wanted or go on that trip that you wanted. So you have to be really, really specific, right? But I think it's really guiding the person to actually understand what it is that they want, and get them to focus on what those emotions will feel once they actually have what it is that they want. So for example, going back to money, when you say I want more money, it's not about having more money. It's what you're going to do with that money. It's the feeling that you're going to have. So am I going to be able to, buy a home for my parents and make them retire? Am I going to be able to take my wife on a holiday that she's always wanted, or buy her, that special bag, that she wants? Am I going to be able to build the school, in a whole country that I've always wanted to do, or feed the animals, or open up or build a school, or whatever it is? It's never about the money. It's the freedom of the choice once you have that, to be able to use it for making yourself feel good and making other people feel good, and giving. It's all about giving and what you can do for others. It's never about I want more money and therefore I'm going to be happy, because it doesn't work like that.
Right, right.
That's so interesting because when we are talking to more and more facilitators, and in my life, when I start to talk more, uh, well, people who are happy about their life,
Right,
because I think being wealthy is about being happy.
right,
I know lots of people who are quite rich, but they are not happy and they don't feel wealthy. They all try to find the like clues or like the specific usage of law of attraction, how they can improve their frequency, how they can align with the universe, and what is affirmation, what is how they can do that. I mean, I'm on that journey for I think about some years, like about 10, 12 years. But in the last 4 years, I'm more dedicated. In 1 year, I'm quite strong about it, right? So when you are thinking about it, in fact, the thing at the moment, when you notice that the things are not coming to you when you really want them,
right,
the things are coming to you when you feel that they are coming to you, and you have no doubt about it. And that's the difficult part because we think that we are chasing so hard and they will come to us because we are showing we want it. No, in fact, it's coming to the frequency of you're calm, you're so sure it will come, then it's coming. And that's different, right?
Uh, I I want to ask how you really bridge that sense of clarity with the feeling. Because, I mean, it's one thing to know it in your head, but how do you know it in your heart? And that's the tricky part for me always about this. Like, how do you bring the future feeling into now? Like,
into
how
the
do you,
now. Yeah. But
right.
before I answer that, let me just go back to Corey, because what Corey said, made sense, and I can only explain it in the way it was explained to me by my mentor, Tony Robbins. He basically says that when you stop putting yourself first, and you stop and you come from a place from the heart where you actually give, and when I say give, we're not talking about money here. We're talking about time. We're talking about resources. We're talking about an open heart, a listening ear to somebody that may need it. Okay, so you can give in different ways, if we take money off the table. And I think that is the key, is to get yourself out of the equation, so that you're actually doing things for other people. It's not you focused, it's we focused. Does that make sense, Corey? Um, that totally, has it changed a lot. Even like in my speaking, for example, before it would be like at the very very beginning it would be speaking, but I'd be speaking really kind of like to myself. And then when I made that
Mm,
little switch, and again, Tony Robbins says it's really just a 2 millimeter switch from where you are and where you really want to be, which was to be a great serving speaker, is actually speaking to the people that I had, as my audience, and speaking to them like I was speaking to them directly, one on one. So I yeah, so Corey, I hope that kind of explained it for you a little bit. To answer your question, Joanna, how you actually bridge the gap and bring it forward, it's something that you really need to work on. It's not going to happen overnight. What has helped me is definitely meditation, pranic healing meditation.
mm,
Being here in Cancun, I'm very blessed to know a lot of the Mayan people, and I've done a lot of work with them with regards to medicinal healing.
mm,
So everything from plant medicine, yeah, plant medicine that has also helped just to basically you're opening up to understand that there is a higher power and that we are all connected to that higher power. And when we generally come from the heart and with good intention, because you have to have good intention. And what I mean by good intention, it has to be pure and it has to be for the greater good. It can't just be for
right,
me, right? I
right,
can't, like if I say, oh, I want to have money, or I want more money or whatever, it's never going to happen. But if I say something like, I want to create this type of value to these type of people, then the money will come. So it's all about being your authentic self, being in a
right.
place that you're very, very intentional, and it's not just about you, it's about the value that you can create for other people. But meditation definitely helps. I do a lot of pranic healing meditation as well as transcendental meditation. And I think, again, when you also understand how vibration works, how thought works, what are the laws of attraction, because there isn't just one, there's many of them, and how we can apply this to our everyday life in order not to just get what we want, but to help other people get what they want.
Mm,
Then you are in alignment with the higher source, or God, or the universe, or Allah, whatever you want to call it. And that is when you start to manifest everything that you want. And as Corey says, you end up happy by default.
right. And when you said that a big part of what's helped you is being in an environment that has a focus on this. So, can you tell us more about what led you to Mexico? What's the story there? From the other side of the world, you're now in Mexico.
Sure. That's actually a really sad story. But before I go into that, I just want to tell you that you basically are the equivalent of the five people that you spend most of your time with,
Right,
which is why I
right.
decided to spend my time with certain people that were in the personal development, that always wanted to grow, wanted to learn, wanted to give back, and wanted to create
Yes,
value. So that
yes.
is, that is the type of people that I will always gravitate to. Those are the kind of people that I get on well with, and those are the type of people that I will give my time to, and I will make time for. Now, if you are not one of those type of people, and again, it's by now it's like a frequency. So if we don't vibe at the
Right.
same frequency, I don't spend time with them. Meaning, if they're complainers, if I can have a 2 minute conversation, and if they are whinging about the weather, or whinging, about the food being too cold that was just served, or something, if they complain, if they're complainers, then those are not my type of people at all whatsoever. So I made it a real must. I made it something that was very important and a great, and I guess I made that from a ritual, i.e., not hanging around with people like
Mm,
that, to it became my value to only hang out with people that I can learn and grow with, to then my identity, meaning I just will not, I learned how to say no to those other people. Do you know what I mean?
yes.
So
Yeah.
that's what needed to happen for me to have the quality of life that I have today, and for me to be happy, not just with myself, but with what I'm doing, with my friends, with who I'm doing it with, and so forth. So, by the way, how much time do we have? Because I can talk
I,
for hours. I
I
didn't
know.
ask.
Actually, I didn't wear my glasses today, so I'm like squinting over. at 25
You
now.
know, there's a problem about this. We are talking to the people to like promote this, like facilitators and speaker on Leadia Festival, right? Then we are
Right.
so excited about how we are engaging with them and how we are talking what their story about. Then like we are trying to know more about them rather than promoting it, which is because like we are enjoying each person who will
Right.
be there, and we are learning from them. I mean, Steve, Christian, Irene, you,
Yeli,
Yeliz,
Veronique.
Veronique, all of you like a library for us. When I am talking to you, I felt like I am reading Napoleon Hill.
Oh, thank you.
No, really, like everything you are saying was on the Napoleon Hill books, which like
Well, that I appreciate that, Corey. I appreciate that so much. Let's do one thing because I know everybody's busy and we all lead different and busy lives today. So for those that are watching, I really, really appreciate you. Let's keep it to 30 minutes. So I'm going to tell you my pitiful
Okay.
story as to how I ended up in Cancun, and then I'm going to tell you why you should come and attend the Leadia Festival in Istanbul, October 19th to the 22nd. Okay. So, all right. So here's what happened. So I actually lived for 10 years in Italy, but that's another story. If you come to Leadia, I might tell you how that happened and why, and the takeaways I got from that. But I basically didn't like Australia anymore. I mean, I love Australia. It's a beautiful country, but for what I wanted to do and for my goals, I felt that it was holding me back. So I decided to go to America, and I actually lived in Las Vegas for about a year and a half.
Hmm.
At
How
the
old
time,
were
I
you when
was,
you did this?
this is how old?
I'm
I'm
sorry. I
very
mean,
young,
sorry.
Joanna.
I'm very. I use anchors of
This was
biography
this was
because we
this was
make milestone
this was about
decisions
8 years ago. 8 years ago now.
8 years.
Okay,
So it's fairly
about
recent. This is fairly recent.
I was super young. I just left high school. No, I'm kidding. So um, so I was living in Vegas, and I had a lot of fun. And I back then I was doing the Tony Robbins Platinum program, which was an extreme, beautiful experience in my life. One that I had searched for many years, and I was really grateful that I got the opportunity to do it. Um, Very long story short, because I want to spend the next at least 2 minutes telling you guys why you should come to Leadia. Um, just bureaucracy. It was back in the day of the
Ah,
Donald Trump elections, and I had requested to upgrade my visa, and they denied me. And under his law back then was that if I got denied for a visa, automatically all my other visas would have been canceled. So the visa got canceled, even though I had everything in Las Vegas. I had an apartment, I had a car, I had my babies. I had just finished furnishing it, I had moved everything there. And then I was told that I couldn't get back in. So that was the case until July of this year. So for 5 years, I was not able to, not even transit in the States, even though my husband's American, which was, it was, it was such a blessing because at the time I hated it. And I thought, what am I going to do now? And we ended up coming to Mexico because it was the closest for my
mm,
for my husband's family. But looking back, it was the best thing that could have happened to me. And I think Lisa will
mm.
be talking about turning our hardships into blessings. Is that right?
The
Um,
opportunities and all of it.
Opportunity.
Mm.
Right. So I'd love to hear her story. But let me tell you some reasons why you must attend this festival. First of all, if you want to grow as a person, grow your business, grow your mindset, grow the people that you hang around, and have
Mm.
uh, have the opportunity to be around elevated mindsets that will inspire you, that will put a lot of value into your life, and that will challenge you out of your comfort zone, this is the place that you need to be. Okay. October 19th to the 22nd. Now, for those of you that are watching from Europe, that's really, really, really close to you guys. So I can only tell you that there'll be so much value, so much fun, so much flavor. Am I right, Corey? There's going to be a lot of flavor at this festival.
yes.
A lot
I
of
mean,
flavor, right?
like literally food flavors and also cultural flavors as well.
And there's going to be a lot of flavors where you will learn to grow, You will learn to grow as a person. You will learn to embrace change. You will learn to be of value, make amazing connections, network like you've never networked before with people from all around the world. It's a beautiful space. It's a safe space. It's an inspiring space where you can take yourself, your mindset, and your business to the next level. And the friendships that you make at Leadia, one thing I can definitely guarantee you this will be friendships for life. So I hope you guys can join Johanna, Corey, myself, and all the other facilitators for this amazing start to what will become Leadia Festivals known all around the world this
Right.
October 19th to 22nd in Istanbul. There we go. 49 seconds over. I didn't do too bad.
Wow.
Didn't do too bad, right?
Beautifully phrased.
Thank you so much, eloquent and full of heart. And yeah, I'm so honored to share this journey of birthing Lydia with you. Thank you for your time tonight. And we look forward to seeing you
Yes,
in a few
I
days.
am going to learn so much from you.
I
I
can't
think
wait.
I will just like try to learn everything from you what I can learn.
Very
I
excited to
can't
go to
wait. I
tenure.
can't wait. Guys, follow the Leadia Festival at hashtag Leadia Festivals, hashtag Leadia Growth, and hashtag Leadia. And follow them also on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. And did I miss one out? Have I missed one? I
LinkedIn
feel like
as
I've
well.
missed one out.
We're on LinkedIn too. Yes.
And LinkedIn. There we go. There we
And
go.
LinkedIn. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for having me.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Ali.
much for
Thank
your
you so
time.
much.
We love you. Take care. See you in
Bye. We'll
Istanbul.
see you soon.
Bye
See you in a week.
bye.
Bye bye. Take
Bye.
care.
Bye.
Bye bye.